Welcome to the Happiness Happens podcast. I'm Simona Nicole, host of the show, mindset coach, and motivational speaker. I've made it my mission to help you get unstuck, shift your mindset, and understand your worth to help you live your most purposeful life. Each week, I will bring you an idea, guest, or a positive thought that will leave you inspired and empowered to win your life. We decide the stories we tell ourselves and where we invest our energy. I'm so grateful you popped in. Now let's dive in. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode on the Happiness Happens podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so grateful that you come back every week, week over week. It really makes my day. It's inspiring to hear all of the things that you get out of all of these different interviews and episodes. And I'm so excited to bring you today's guest. We met by social media, just by fluke, through the amazing connections that you can get online. And we got to talking, and honestly, I think that you're going to get so much value out of this episode. And her name is Barbara Joergensen, and I had to practice her last name, and I feel you on the last name because mine is a really hard last name too, so I don't even use it in my anything because it's too hard for people to pronounce. But welcome to the show, Barbara. I'm so happy that you're here today.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, yes. It's going to be such a good conversation. To dive in, I would love if you could tell our audience, just a little bit about yourself and about the journey that's brought you to where you are today.
Yeah, well, I'm a corporate dropout. Was on corporate for more than 10 years.
Wow.
I always thought I will stay there, because I actually really like my jobs and really like the companies I work for. But when I became a mom, that's when things, switch and priorities also change and the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I started thinking, what can I do that allows me to be also like 100% mama? Because I think what I was feeling being incorporated was like being this 50-50 all the time, like I wasn't really putting 100% of my job because I was always like, oh, my kids, and I miss them, and I want to like get them early from the kindergarten and things like that. And then when I was a mom, I was like, oh, I need to do this tomorrow, So you're always like on both sides and not giving 100% to both. So that was one of the reasons that I started thinking, okay, maybe I should make a change here. But then the second one was that I actually got very sick. I got into a very dark depression, and that was a very eye opener to see what I really wanted in my life and what I really wanted to pursue. So both things got me where I am today. Yeah.
That's crazy. And where are you living now?
I'm in Denmark.
Amazing. So
Yeah.
cool. Have you always lived there?
No, I'm a Mexican living in
Wow.
Denmark because I found a Viking that kidnapped me. Well, no, he didn't kidnap me. I came completely by my own. We fell in love, and then we moved here. Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much. Oh, I would love to visit Denmark. I think it would be so beautiful to go and visit.
Yeah, you should. I will give you all the tips.
I love it. And I've heard it's a very like a very full and like slow way of living. Is that true?
It's for sure. Yeah, I think Danish have really nailed the work-life balance for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And so now in your, in your business and what you're doing, what exactly do you help people do? What sort of niche market are you in? And how did you, transfer from what you were doing in corporate over to this business too? I'm going to
Well,
drink a
on
tea.
corporate, yeah, of course. On corporate, I was always the assistant. I was in HR and sales and general management, everything. And I thought, well, the easiest was just start like a VA, like a virtual assistant, because more or less it's the same role.
Mm-hmm.
But what I realized is that what I really is help others create this amazing client experience for their clients. So I started working with that instead. So I think you can always call me a BA because BA, but I think I specialize on that. And soon I'm gonna actually launch a new service that is gonna help online course creators. So that's going to be also very nice and interesting. Yeah.
Oh, that's very exciting. That's such a market that's building up so much. The courses, learning how to build courses, how to streamline that is so exciting and it's so cool. So if you have a link to that, or if you have, somewhere for people to go to learn more information, I'll put all of that in the show notes to make sure that people can, connect with you. When it comes to the client experience, what's so important about having that client experience from beginning to end?
Well, this has two phases. I want to say it has one for you and one for your clients. So for your clients, you want them to have this VIP treatment, you want them to be super clear, super smooth, super relaxed. So when they finish working with you, they have this really nice feeling being with you and working with you. That is going to bring you a lot of referrals, because when people have a really good experience, they of course refer with, they're going to have you so fresh in their mind. They're going to be like, oh, do you want to I know who coach you have to work with, or I know web designer you need to have in your team. You always fresh. That's for the client side. From the you as business owner side, it's gonna save you so much time. Like for me, it saved me like 2 hours per client. Imagine that. That's like a lot of time,
Wow.
because you're not going to be using all this time sending the email, the response, sending the invoice. Like you're just going to set up a workflow that is going to run smoothly. It's completely automated. and
Mm.
and I hear people saying, oh, but when you say workflow and it's automated, and it just, if something happens, you can always pause the workflow. Remember that something happens and need to add, you can stop the workflow. You can add things. Like workflows are not like, Terminator. It's kind of like, oh, they just run and run. No, no, no. You can always stop them and continue, or stop them if the client is not working with you anymore or whatever.
Ooh.
But for you, it's gonna save you so much time. It's gonna save you so much energy, and the best thing, it's gonna save you so much head space. Because you're not gonna be all the time thinking. I don't know if it happens to you, but sometimes it's like, have I remember sending this, or like, I don't think I remember this. Or, like all those. It's just taking so much space in your head, in your life.
Oh my God,
Forget
it's
about
so
that.
true. It's
Yeah.
so true. And like I actually just brought on a VA. She's amazing, and she's helped me already just streamline so many different processes. Because I think what happens is you start a business, and then you shift into this part, then you shift into this part, and you go over here and you do this, you do this, you do this, and then by the time you realize that you don't really have all of the processes in place that you need to be able to be sustainable in like the long term. And so, that's such an incredible gift that she's been able to give me, of like, sitting down and making me go through the processes of what I need to do. And like already that stress has been taken off. So like for anyone who is looking for one, like think about it. It really changes a lot in your business, and it gives you more time and space to do things.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes if you don't want to hire a whole team member, because I understand sometimes getting that responsibility to hire someone for your team, it can
Yeah.
be expensive, it can be a lot. Just streaming your onboarding and offboarding process, that's going to save you a lot of time. Just doing that, just automated that process, is going to save you tons of hours.
Oh, I love that so much. And so, okay, if someone wanted to, start to streamline their processes, because this is the part, like you're saying, that can be so overwhelming. If you've been in a business for a while and you don't have those processes. So how could someone start to streamline a process for themselves? What would they look at? Like, what would they do?
So what you need to do is write down everything that process has. For example, if we're going to
Mm,
start with your onboarding. So what are the tasks that your onboarding has? So you probably have a consultation call, or like a free call, and then you have that call, and then you probably send a proposal, and then you probably send a contract, and then an invoice. So all those steps that process takes, you need to write them down. And once you
mm.
have them down, then you have to analyze, are all these steps, are they necessary? Because sometimes we do things automatically and repetitive, but not because they're good, but because we've been doing it for a long time.
That's true. It's so
Yeah.
true. And then you think to yourself, like, do I really need to send that third email, or, does that really have to be in there? Or, can I send this direct link instead of, going here and then here and here? It's so true.
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. That's why I always said, once you have all the steps down, read through them, and if you really, really use them all. And if not, then you eliminate. And that's okay. Eliminating, it's okay, because eliminate also gonna save you time. Again, time is the highest currency you have in your hands. So as much time you can save to use in another thing, that's amazing. And then the third part will be find a program or a software or a platform that it's going to work for your business. And it can be different. For example, onboarding, for me, I love Dubsado. I think they're amazing, and they're really powerful because it's a platform where you can grow with. Because at the end of the day, you're going to grow your business. You're not going to stay there forever, right? So you want a platform that also grows with you. And that's what Dubsado is also good at.
Oh,
So
I
I think
love
that would
that.
be the three things you have to have in mind.
I love that. That's amazing. And I think that's a really good point that you make, is like a lot of people sometimes overlook the importance of having, even just that platform that helps automate for them as well. So like you're saying, Deb Sato, and I haven't been on it to like see the specifics about it, but yesterday, for example, I was trying to streamline some links in my Instagram profile and links to different places so people can book calls and that kind of thing. And I use Calendly right now just to book out different services. So it works great. And then I upgraded to get like the next level, or the next level subscription. And it has like automated emails that it sends. And I was like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
this has already just taken like 10 hours. You know what I mean? Like it's taken so much
Yeah.
time out of what I would typically do. And you can still keep those pieces of, like the personal touches, and
Of
having them
course.
automated as well, which is so incredible.
Yeah, and that's one thing I should ask is that once you have all the steps for your process written down, then you should think, how can I make this experience of onboarding remarkable? So what are those small touches I can add that are actually gonna make a difference? Because you can do that. You can, for example, give them a welcome package.
Mm-hmm.
That's really easy and so cute, and with their personalized with their name, and like, and that's a little nice touch. When you offboard somebody, you can send them an email telling them, today I give you coffee, and then you send them a Starbucks card, you know, and that's a really nice touch to receive and to give. And still the automation is not robotic, because those small touches, they give the personality.
I love that. I love that so much. That's so important, because it's like, okay, if you think about a client experience that you would receive in a, okay, so I used to work in this corporate job, and it was in marketing. And one of the things that we did was really make sure that the client experience, because it was like a furniture design place.
Okay.
And so there was a showroom, and there was all this emphasis on what's the client experience when you come into the showroom. What does it look like? How does it feel? And it's everything from like, what does the cute little jar look like that you could put candies in for someone to take, all the way to where's the guest book placed so they can sign their name. You know what I mean? It's
Okay.
and then you're taking that, what you would experience in person, you're taking that and you're turning it into online for someone's business, which is so important, because you're letting their personality shine through in.
Exactly.
I love that. What for you goes into designing, an amazing client experience? What are some things um, that are like non-negotiable for you to include?
For me, a welcome package is and a goodbye package. Both things are really important. Number three is a checkup or like a coffee chat after 3 months working with somebody. I think this is a lot of times forgotten, and it's so important, because once you finish working with somebody, you're like, okay, finish, bye. And no, if you schedule that 3 month follow up, it can be so rich. It can be so rich because, one, if that client needs you, they're gonna hire you again. And maybe they
Mm-hmm.
don't even know they need you, but because you follow up, that she's gonna be like, oh, remember, I actually need your help. Number two, you're gonna be so fresh in their mind that they're gonna, like I said, referrals, referrals, referrals. So that 3 month checkup or follow up or coffee chat, whatever you want to call it, it's super, super important.
I
And
love that.
yeah, and I think the third one is also remember to give something personal. It's something, like I said, a little touch of appreciation. Because at the end of the day, you have to remember that they could have chosen another 100 people to work with. Like
So true.
we are not special, like, well, we are special, but I mean, like, we're not the we are special, but we're not the only ones. So
There's
there are
so many. There's so
exactly.
many.
Yeah, so a little present, a little touch of appreciation that they chosen you instead of the whole bunch. That's really rich. That's really amazing.
Oh, I love that so much. That's such a really nice thing to do, for someone, and it brings that care back in. It brings that like love and appreciation and gratitude, and and it's often like you see a lot like of different things online and how people do different things, and how people you know set themselves apart and this and that, but there's those are like the types of things that you do because they feel good and aligned to you, but they're not necessarily the things that you're promoting. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to
Yeah.
say, "Hi, coach with me and I will give you a Starbucks gift card." Like, you know what I mean? Like, no.
Yeah. No.
But, yeah, no, I love that so much.
Uh,
So,
but
okay,
it's
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's like when you go to a hotel. Remember when you got a really nice hotel, and then you open the door to your room, and then suddenly there's like this champagne and strawberries, and you're like, wait a minute, I didn't ask for, and they were like, no, no, they're complimentary, and you're like, oh my
Oh,
God, I love this. Now it's a really nice touch, and you, of course, every person you talk when you come back from from holidays, you talk with your friends, with your family, you're gonna, no, you guys, you have to stay in that hotel because da, 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 da. This
exactly.
is with online services. The same happens. So when people ask, oh, what about Barbara? Oh, that was really good because she did da. That's what happens.
Exactly. Oh, I love that so much. That is so, so, so good. And then when you're talking about the part about, the like offboarding clients as well, I think that just exactly what you were saying is such a thing that's overlooked in so
Yeah.
many, like in so many cases, because even if you're creating a program, I'm in the process of creating a signature program. By the time this launches, I think by the time this episode goes live, I'm pretty sure it'll already be launched. But beside the point, I was thinking about what is the best way to end that program? Do you know what I mean? Like, thank you
Yeah.
so much for spending all this 6 months with me, and now like goodbye. Like, it just doesn't
Yeah.
seem right. Like,
Mm-mm.
so you were saying about the offboarding piece, having like a ending package, if that makes any sense, and doing the follow-up like check-in. um how have those changed the way that your business works, or like the business of your clients, just by having that extra touch at the end?
Again, freshness.
Mm.
When you have those small details, people remember. People are gonna remember. Of course, they're gonna remember your service, but that's the thing they pay for. So of course, you have to give a good service. You have to give a good coaching. You have to deliver a good website. But those small details, like I said, like the champagne and the strawberries in the hotel, those are the ones people remember freshly because those are the ones that were unexpected. So
Mm.
everything you can give to your client that is completely unexpected. And again, it doesn't have to be a present. It sometimes it can just be a little extra. I give you an extra one-on-one just because, or I'm gonna give you an extra month just because. Or what if a web designer? What if I also give you some templates for your Instagram? Just because, like, those small details, those extra little nuggets, those are the ones that they're gonna remember. Those are the ones they're gonna stick in their mind. So those are the ones you want to include in both onboarding and offboarding. Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much. I think that, when you and I met, I think that we just kind of clicked right away, because you're so heart-centered and you just care so much about like creating this beautiful space for everybody that crosses paths with you. And you can tell, like, everything that you're saying and everything that you're speaking of, like there's so much confidence and so much like love and like clarity behind what you're saying, because you know what you're talking about. And it really, really comes through, especially, you know, yeah, it just really, really comes through. I just love you. Anyways,
Thank you. Thank
you're
you.
so welcome. When it comes to the automating, you know, your client experience, how, when you implement those different systems, how does that start to, you know, save and make you money in the long run?
So save you time. That's the first one. It's gonna go. That's gonna something you're gonna see immediately. As soon as you start the streamline and the automation, you're gonna see that 15 minutes, that suddenly an hour, suddenly two, because again things work in a workflow, and that's also gonna give you a peace of mind.
I want to quickly pause this interview and tell you about the Handel Group coaches that I've had the honor and privilege of bringing onto the Happiness Happens podcast. With every conversation and interview, I've learned something so impactful and so life-changing. Inner You Life is the online coaching course from Handel Group that gives you the tools to get yourself unstuck, wildly happy, and thriving where it matters most to you. Your relationship to yourself, career, love, body, money, time, and more. From wherever, whenever. Recommended by Hugh Jackman, Dr. Mark Hyman, Forrest Whitaker, Elena Brower, and hundreds more. Taught in MIT, Stanford School of Business, and 50 plus institutes of learning across the world. Visit inneryou.coach and use the code HappinessHappens at checkout for $75 off. Now, back to the episode.
A peace of mind. And I think when you have peace of mind, you also appreciate the time. You know what I mean? Because sometimes maybe you're saving time, but if you don't having this peace of mind, then it doesn't, you don't really see what am I gaining here? What am I winning? But when you have the peace of mind and then you see the time also, it's like, oh, I know, I can see it's working, you know? That's one
Exactly.
thing. The second thing is that money is gonna start. You're still gonna start having more money because one thing, you're gonna have time to be more visible. You're gonna have time to engage more. You're gonna have time to sell more. You know, to be there, to show, to create content. You're gonna have that time. Number two, you're gonna start having time to strategize, to think about the future, to think how you can grow, to think how you can use this time again wisely, you know. And the third, because your client experience is going to be so amazing, referrals, they're going to start coming in. And I always say to people, the best way to grow your business and the cheapest is for free is through referrals. It's the best marketing advertisement your business can have. Nobody, not even, forget about Instagram, forget about everything. If you have clients that sell for you, honey, you just hit a home run.
It's so true. It's so true because, like, okay, if you think of like the marketing world and like marketing your products, people don't like, people want to know how it's going to make them feel. People want to know how it's going to change their life. People want to know how that thing, because if you think about it, like there's not a lot of stuff that's out there that's overly new or overly different. It's just everyone has their own specific way of doing that specific thing, which is how it makes it unique and how it makes them unique and differentiates different people in different industries, right? But if you think about it, like people want to know, like, how are they going to feel after they come across like your product, and how they, you know, their experience from interacting with it. And like you're saying, that testimonial piece is so important, because that means that it's like, okay, anything to do with brand, like you can say what your brand is, you can say what you do, and you can say how you hope people will feel, but you don't really get to decide that conversation. You know what I mean?
No.
It's how other people experience you and what other people get from you. You know, that's the biggest difference. That's like the key piece. And so as much as we try, you know, try or want to try to control that narrative, like that's why, as a separate side note, that's why I always like think that when you operate from the place within yourself, like that heart-centered place, you don't really have that ego attached to, is this message getting across in the way that I want it to? Like you just have that inner peace, like, and so it is. It already is
Yeah.
done, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, that was like a big long tangent. Just but what was, some of the challenges that you faced, or one challenge in specific that you faced when you made the jump from your 9-to-5 career into your full-time business and doing this piece full time?
Mindset for sure, because I was very scared. Both two things. One, financially, like, can I really make money out of this? Because of course, that's a thing and a fear everybody has when they start a business. They're gonna really make a living out of doing this that I love so much, helping others, but is it really gonna work? And the second thing was, can I really handle this, like, entrepreneurial life? I, I was in corporate for so long that I really like the community aspect. Like the one,
Yeah.
the thing that you can, walk to the other person's desk and brainstorm ideas. Like, oh, I'm having problems here. What do you think? Like all those, you're not alone. You always have some backup.
Yeah.
You don't have that when you're alone. That's why it's called solo entrepreneur, because you're solo.
I know, it's true. And then, I don't know about you, but when I get onto like podcast interviews and doing different interviews with different people, I'm always so excited to talk. I'm like, hi, how are you? Like, oh my God, I get to talk to, you know what I mean? Because it's like, you get to talk to somebody else and see what somebody else is doing. And, yeah, it's nice to feel that connection. It's nice to feel like, and you're also talking to people who are like-minded, people who understand what you're going through. And the best part that still continues to blow my mind is the fact that we're in different parts of the world. Do you know what I mean? Like that part, I don't know. I think that, if we've learned anything in this virus, in this world that we're living in, is that you can still connect. You can still make incredible relationships and meet new people. And there's like that beauty can still come out of it.
Yeah.
Even
thank
if you
goodness for technology, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's amazing. Unbelievable. But what you're saying is so true in terms of the mindset piece, because I think that sometimes when we do the mindset work, a lot of the time people think like you do it once and then it's over and done with forever.
No.
But it's like every time, and every time you up level, there's the mindset stuff. Every time something new happens, it's those limiting beliefs every time. And so it's about like building those tools, to help bring yourself back into the growth mindset, to the positive mindset. So what are some of the tools that you've used, or some things that help you, stay in a more abundant and growth mindset, as opposed to the worries and the fear? Yeah.
So I have a therapist, and I love therapy. I think therapy is something that I just truly recommend to everybody. And you don't need to, because I think sometimes people is like, oh, if I need a therapist because I have like a huge trauma. No, you don't really. Sometimes it's just having other people, completely neutral person coming into your life. Not a friend, not a family, not your boyfriend, not your, just as somebody that doesn't know you. It can really be hard in a good way. That's one thing. Another thing I've been doing a lot is journaling, and this is something I just started this year. And to be honest, I always thought it was a little bananas. It was like, yeah, I'm gonna write my feelings.
Okay.
yeah. But oh my God, it's been life changing. It's for sure. Like, it's so good, and it's such a practice that I've been loving so much. And the third thing is exercise. Like, for me, moving my body, it's such an important thing of my life. Like, I can immediately feel the anxiety growing, like a monster in my skin, if I don't move my body. Like, even today, I was like, completely out of edge because I overslept, so I didn't do my workout in the morning. And then I just told my husband, I'm leaving the house. See you in an hour. And I went for a walk, And
he's like, okay, bye.
yeah. And then I came back completely different, because moving your body just helps you in so many ways. It's very, very important we do that.
It's so true, especially like right now. I think it's a little bit different where you are, because you were saying that, you guys don't have this lockdown and all that kind of stuff anymore, and you can go whatever. But like over here in this part of the world, people don't leave their houses. You know what I mean? You go to the grocery store, maybe you go for a walk around, around the neighborhood or wherever you are, but there's no like Yeah, it's just different. And so like you sit inside, and then by the time you realize it's like 4 o'clock, and you're like, wow, I haven't really moved around
Walk.
today.
Yeah.
Haven't been outside
Yeah.
today, And then, yeah, there's just, that's so, so, so important though.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another, question that just came to mind. And, what is what is one of your favorite things that you get to do now? Like, what's one of the best parts about having your business and something you love that you get to do every day?
Take my kids to school and be home to have to open the door for them every day. Like that for
Aww.
me, it's such a high because before we will have to rush very like I have to get my kid to kindergarten at 6:45, so 6:45 in the morning, so we
Wow.
could be at work, right? And then I was picking them up around 4:15, so very late, and that crushed my soul. Like I remember some days I just cry all the way to job because I was like, no, like this is not good for them. Like they should have a really nice morning where they eat breakfast. So having that freedom to give them that nice morning and to be home when they arrive home at 2 or 3, that's what I do. What I do, That's
Mm.
yeah.
Oh, I love that so much. How old are your kids?
So I have a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old. So yeah.
Wow. Those are such important years too for them. Like,
Yeah, it
oh,
is. And they're in that age, especially my 8-year-old, that she start really talking, like having small problems, like little
oh,
friend drama here or like a little there. And it's really nice when she comes to school and she sits near here next to me and she's like blah 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 telling me all that happened in school, like those things, because she's not tired, because before I was picking her up and she was just so tired that she didn't want to talk anymore, she was just like it went well.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but now she arrives home, she's still with that energy that she can actually tell me everything, and it's awesome.
I also think that it goes from like the top down too, because you have less stress. You know what I mean? Like you're not rushing all the time. You have more time and energy too. And like, then you take that and you're able to like filter that down into like your whole family, which is so important too. Oh, I love
Exactly.
that.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
true. So true. Okay. I'm trying to figure out which question do I want to ask you next. I have like a couple more. So I guess like with your on like the business side, is there, where can our listeners find you? Or, do you have a freebie that you're, happy to share with them, or something that
Yeah.
they could grab onto to learn more?
Yeah, of course. Well, I have a freebie, an ebook that you can actually download. And this ebook is amazing to help you if you're in that stage where you're like, I want to delegate, but I don't know how, or I don't know when. This freebie is all about delegating. So you can actually start looking at what tasks you want to delegate, how to hire a BA. It's super juicy. You can download it on my website. And then you can always find me on my website, barbarajoergensen.com, or on Instagram because I love Instagram and I'm always there, Barbara Joergensen Studio. And yeah, that's me.
I love it. So I'll make sure to put all of those into the show notes so that everybody can connect with you. That sounds like a really super useful freebie, which I love, because there's so many freebies out there that are like, it'll say like 5 steps to something, something, something. And then you download it and you're like, oh, like I already knew that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So this sounds really, really helpful, and that people can actually take it and implement it directly
Yeah.
into what they're doing, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's actually a workbook. And I actually, one of the first things I wrote in the ebook was like, please take the time to do it because it's a workbook. Like, you really need to write things down and go through the workbook.
Exactly. And like that's like the other piece too, which is so good. You're giving someone like the actual tangible thing to do, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this is my last and my final question for you, and it's a question that I ask all of my guests when they come on the show. It's, how can someone create a little bit more happiness in their day every day starting today?
Remember you. Remember
Ooh.
to give you a time, give you an hour, give you half an hour. Just give yourself time without a hobby, without kids, without the dog, without anything. And find something that brings you joy. In that half an hour, you're allowed to do whatever you like. because it's your hour. So you can read, you can listen to music, you can dance, you can walk, but that's your hour. That's your hour.
I love that. That's a really, really great tip. I love that you said that, because for a long time, I always, like, I have a morning routine, and I always made it so structured. Like, I'm going to do a meditation first. It's going to be this long. Then I'm going to do this for this amount of time. Then I'm going to read for like a specific amount of time and set minutes and all that kind of stuff. And then kind of got to thinking, like, I don't really want to have that much structure. You know what I mean? Like, I want to take an hour and do what I want with that hour that helps me wake up and get into my day in the best possible way. So every day it looks different, just like you're saying. Like, usually pretty much always has a meditation in there at some point, like, you know, for sure. But the rest of it flows in however, you know, some days it's a run, some days it's journaling, some days it's always different.
That makes you happy. That's the most important.
Exactly. Oh, I love that so much. Amazing. Thank you so much, Barbara, for coming on to the show. This was so fun.
Thank you for having me. It was such a pleasure. Thank you.
It was so fun. And thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into this week's episode. I love how much tangible information there was in here, how much stuff you can actually just go in, take right now, implement into your life, and start to like streamline your processes and really get clear on, you know, outsourcing tasks and like what you could do to let go of to create more space in your business for what you want to actually be doing. You know, it doesn't have to be a struggle all the time. It doesn't have to be, you know, pulling all the time to try and make sure you get everything done. Like, there's so much great information here that you can just take and implement right away. And make sure to connect with Barbara. Make sure to connect with me. Let us know what you loved from this episode, what resonates the most, and happiness happens when you're least expecting it. Thanks so much for being here today. I hope these words have brought you inspiration, insight, and a bit more happiness. Please leave a comment or a review if this episode resonates with you. I would be so grateful. Until next time, remember that happiness happens when you're least expecting it.